I just wanted to talk about the state of video games at the moment. Companies are getting really greedy. We've seen it with Nintendo, with the Nintendo Switch 2. They're saying that games are going to be up to £80 per game. That is absolutely mental. Effectively, I think it's about £240 then for free games. Like, how can you justify free games costing £240? It starts to become the equivalent of a console itself. And now Sony increased the price of their consoles. So rather than the consoles dropping with time, they're actually going up. This isn't making any sense at all. Um, I'm a PC gamer predominantly, so I understand the cost of the parts. Consoles genuinely are very good value in comparison, but the prices shouldn't be going up. That's because it's older hardware. It doesn't make sense. Should always go down. So yeah, they're just taking advantage really. And then we're seeing Xbox have just announced that their consoles have increased in prices now too, and the peripherals, so your controllers and all sorts. And the games now they're saying are first party titles may release up to £80 each, and it's like you can see the trend where it's going here. You've got games that are ridiculous. That pushes people towards Game Pass more because, like, as a gamer, I sort of understand the differences. If you're looking for single player story narrative games that are very high quality, movie like even, Sony with the PlayStation are the best. They're incredible at storytelling. And they have a bigger library at this point because a lot of Xbox games are coming over now. So if you want a big library of console, you've got that. If you want a cheaper experience, you've got Xbox because of Game Pass. So you subscribe for a monthly fee. It's not that much. All of a sudden, you access an awful lot of incredibly expensive games. But Game Pass inevitably is going to get more expensive with time. It's already been going up incrementally. It'll be maybe it's $14.99 in the UK at the moment for Ultimate. It'll be $17.99 eventually, or maybe $19.99. And it'll keep creeping up and creeping up. It's just I think relying on it long term isn't going to be that great. Hence, their prices increasing. Nintendo, they've sort of like just got their own little community really, but they're not really there for the fans. They're just it's not. It used to be for families and people like that. It was very budget conscious. Now they're just fleecing people. And as much as I'm nostalgic for Nintendo and I love Mario, I love Zelda, love Donkey Kong, there's brands I absolutely love with Nintendo. I'm not a fanboy of anyone. You know, I play the games I enjoy, and once they start getting fleeced, I lose interest. And I think what people are losing sight of, and I've seen people talk on this topic, and I haven't seen people talk about it at all, and it's what I've been doing. I already see the future with things, you know. So when I look at console gaming in particular, I'm already a PC gamer and always have been. But I do like the experience of sitting on the sofa, chilling out, and putting games on. It's just simple, but on a bigger screen. It's just comfortable. So I'm not sitting at my desk all the time. But of course, I have plenty of games to play on my desk. So my PC collection is in the thousands. So with that in mind, even if no games got released ever again, I have plenty to play. I've got simulators, I've got strategy games, I've got RPGs, I've got first-person shooters, you've got racing. Everything and anything. We've even got a lot of Sony exclusives because they've been ported over. So if it stopped now, I'm more than covered. I've got everything. I've got over 10 years of gaming to play, and then you can keep repeating anyway because the games are so big now. So we don't actually need whatever comes next. And I think if you go in with that mindset, it's like they have to then, if they're going to put the price up of games, they have to convince you that's going to be great. And if it's not, they're going to have to realize that people are not going to pay for it because it's too expensive. So gone are the days now where they say this is the best-selling game of all time. All time is the past. People are not going to have £80 games are the best-selling game of all time. It's not going to happen. Only exception could be Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, that for me is an exception too, like in my mind, because we know how polished it is, how grand it is. It ends up being generational leaps forward. It's incredible what they do with the games. It becomes like a game of life. It's crazy. So you know the quality, the depth is going to be there. And even though I'm complaining about £80 now, I would actually pay £100 for Grand Theft Auto. And because it's an exception to the rule, you know how big this game's going to be in terms of like the depth of it. I'm not talking about popularity. I don't care about that. It's more about the experience, and you know it's going to be polished. All the other games, you can't guarantee. A lot of them are just a letdown. Games in the past were actually, for the most part, better than the ones that are out now. It's just that now they're graphically improved. That's just polishing something. That's not the end. That's not be all and end all. So I just want to put things into perspective here, really. We've got consoles that are £500. Even the Switch 2's coming out at 430. I haven't got a problem with that. I've had handhelds myself. Handhelds are expensive. You just got to look at even iPads and things. Just compare it to that. It's not expensive. It's fine. 430. I haven't got a problem with it. The problem is the games. You're paying £80 a game. It's going to add up fast. You're going to be hemorrhaging for the rest of the generation, and it's a long generation. And they get sales, but not that much. So the point I'm trying to put in perspective here is games are ridiculous now. They're going to be £80. Even on PC, they'd be going up. It used to be $39.99 was the highest. Now we're up to $59.99, and it's going to go beyond. I'm not paying it. I have to just wait for the sales and things, unless it's something I really, really want. But it's going to be quite rare now. Again, I've got enough games. I could show my catalogue. It's not really much point at this point. But anyway, I've got a lot of PC games. I'm going to show in a minute the emulator I have as well, because it just adds layers to this. But again, put it in perspective, £400, £500 consoles. I recently bought an Xbox 360 for £30. It's the black slim model. It's 250 gig. It comes with 2 controllers, comes with a couple of games. I'm not sure. Did it come with a game? I can't remember if it came with a game. Yeah, I think it did. Actually, I don't know if it comes with a game. Anyway, forget the games. It was £30 on eBay. It's the black one. It's in great condition. It's in great condition. 2 controllers. I just bought some new caps for $3.99. They go on top of the sticks just to make them feel a bit more new. That, and I got it because I wanted to play Forza Motorsport 4. Now, graphically, the new ones are better. Of course, that they look great. This one, I have nostalgic memories of. I remember I absolutely loved this, and upon putting it back on, I was like, yeah, this is great. So if someone has a nostalgic feel for maybe 4, you can't. That's not backwards compatible. So even if you had the latest and greatest, you still can't play it. You can't play this unless you have the original 360 consoles. They're £30. You're looking at games at £80. That console itself's freaking value for money. This cost me £4. So £34 for a console and a game. This is what I'm getting at. You're better off at this point, rather than keep looking to the future and saying, oh, this is shiny, this is great. The games aren't coming. It takes them too long to release anything. I've had it every generation with games consoles. I've had every single one at launch. All of them. All the way. I was hooked. Sega Saturn. I was more of a Sega before Sony and all these things, and then I was interested in Xbox. But I've always had PlayStations too. I even had PlayStation 4, Xbox One when they first released. I even had the PS3. I had the 60 gig backwards compatible PS3. So I'm full into gaming, believe me. But I recognise that every time, and even the Xbox 360, I was well excited for that one. But they've all, for the majority, been disappointing on launch. Like they get maybe 3 or 4 games, then it's dry for another year and a half. And you've invested. But the laughing stock now is that it used to be you could buy a console later and it's cheaper. So you don't have, but now it's actually going up. So it's cheaper to buy it at launch. It's mad. So yeah, I bought an Xbox 360 for £30. I recently also got a PS3 Slim, the one you can see behind me there in the image. I got that for £70. And it come with a few games. It includes GTA 4 and some others. Wasn't many games, maybe 4, but I was looking more for the quality. I wanted one that's in like really, really great condition, and it's in immaculate condition. It even comes with 2 official controllers. They're in amazing condition too, because the games are cheap enough. You're better off paying more, get less for your money with better hardware. That's what I might actually. But anyway, 2 consoles, an Xbox 360, PS3 Slim, £100 total. But the other consoles are £500. Make it make sense. That opens up a whole host of library of games. And just to add on to that, I also got a One X for £100. £100 for an Xbox One X. So it plays all the Xbox One games. It enhances the backwards compatible Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, up to 60 FPS and 4K. And then it could also stream the Xbox Series games through the xCloud. See, and because it's 4K resolution, it looks good. But anyway, it actually is a massive, powerful machine, and it's got Ultra HD Blu-ray in it, all for £100. So an Xbox One X, an Xbox 360, and a PS3 Slim, £200 all 3 of them. £200 compared to a £500 console. And look at the generations of games you've got to play. You've got the whole PS3 lineup. You've got every single Xbox 360 game. You don't have to worry about backwards compatibility. You've got all the Xbox One games and even enhancing Xbox 360 backwards compatible games. You've got a whole generations here of incredible games. and you can also just live stream the cloud anyway through the latest games. So that's £200 in compared to other consoles. I'm sorry, it's not worth the new ones, and that's what I'm getting to the point now. I'm not going to keep chasing a shadow, and a lot of people are not talking about this going backwards. I want to put it into perspective here. £80 games now. I don't think an £80. Let's say PlayStation releases a new console and they bring out a new Little Big Planet. I don't think they will because I think Astrobots replaced it. But if they did, and they say that's £80, as great as that'll look and as innovative as it would be, and I'm sure it'd be a great experience, are you telling me that a new version of Little Big Planet at £80 is worth it when this cost me £4 used from CEX? Little Big Planet 2 has cost me £4. I've just done a video on TikTok showing it. I was playing it for about an hour or so yesterday, just chilling out, and realised how relaxed I was, how awesome it is with the little set pieces they can do. I think you can create your own levels as well. So it's incredible. And I also got Little Big Planet, the first one as well. And I intend to get 3. And they're not expensive games. This cost me £4. Little Big Planet, the first one, cost me £2. So that's £6 for 2 Little Big Planet games. This is where I'm getting at. If you're going to look at the price of gaming, you should be going backwards, not forwards. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm not investing further into these greedy corporations. I'm just going to go backwards and enjoy the library of games that existed. Because the problem is with the PS3, for instance, it's not backwards compatible. So if you've got a PS3 game, unless it got remastered later, it lives and dies with the PS3 console. To play Little Big Planet 2, you have to have a PS3. Otherwise, you can't play it unless Sony put it on their streaming service. And they're not every game they add to it, and they remove them. It's not reliable at all for long term. Then we got MotorStorm. Absolutely loving MotorStorm. That's for me, is personally is Sony's answer to Forza Horizon. Sort of. It's not a massive open world, but the racing's great. And I think personally they should have kept making these games. They've made 3 or 4. Again, lives and dies with the PS3. I think there were some were on PS2 and their handhelds. I'm sure there was one on Vita or PSP, but I don't think the PS4 had one, and PS5 definitely hasn't had one. So why have they let this go? And they've done that with a few franchises. So if you haven't got the old generation, you miss out on this. And I was playing it; graphics are incredible. You'd think it's dated. It's not. Some of the games do look dated, like the Resistance series, which I remember loving. They definitely held up as great graphically and things in the controls. But they're still timepieces, you know. Then we got The Last of Us, where it all started with the PS3. So even if you didn't have the latest console, okay, you don't have the latest graphics. I put this in, and it was more than fine. It was playable, it looked great, and it's fantastic. And so if you're on a budget and you're thinking, I want access to these games, it's going to cost me £500 for the console, it's going to cost me £60, £70 for the game. £570. It literally just cost me £70 for a Slim, and then it cost me £5 for this. So £75 all in to play The Last of Us. So gaming's only going to be expensive if you keep chasing a shadow. You know, I'm not here to say don't do it, any of that. It's just be conscious of what you're spending and where the games are. Because I saw someone recently in a comment section say, "Oh, the problem with playing older games is I can't go back to the graphics; they're terrible." And I agree to that for to some point. But I think it's forgetting how good the 360 and the PS3 era was. There are limitations to an extent, but I just compare it to arcade games. And if you look at it from that point of view, rather than say it has to look pretty like a movie, it's still absolutely great graphics. It really is. It's playable. It's incredible high value. And some of the games are exclusive there. And you'll realise that there's so many games you can just enjoy. Then you have to think, how many hours do you really have in your life to play games? Like we'd all sit, some of us would just sit and spend our whole life. But the reality is we have life to live around it. So there's enough games that are currently available from now and in the past. I personally think to carry us for the rest of our lives. Like, so if I switched off of the game industry and didn't care about anything else they produced, I would be more than fine. Like, for instance, if we talk about strategy games, I like Total War. I like games like that. There's like about 8 in the series, 10. I don't know how many. But I could just happily play them. If you look at my simulators, for instance, I've got Euro Truck Simulator, American Truck Simulator. That's just driving, doing deliveries. I can play that for the rest of my life. I'm a truck with my wheel. I've got racing games. I've got bus coach simulators. You know, we've got adventure single player games. We've got things like Hogwarts Legacy. We've got Ghost of Tsushima. We've got Death Stranding there, Days Gone. We've got Uncharted. I've even got some exclusive ones on the PS3, of course. There's just a lot of games. I could literally sit and just roll off every single one, but it's crazy. And it's like, it's game companies can get greedy, but it's like we can vote by going backwards, and then they realise there's just no audience, and they're doing it to themselves, and that's what I think. So what I'm going to show here, I just want to quickly before I just want to show the past to an extent, really, so you can have a little maybe a little understanding really of how good it was before. I can only show so much though. It's unfortunately I haven't got all the images to show. But hopefully it'll go some way to yeah, that should work. It should work in the background, I'm hopeful. Not sure what that one is. Not sure if it's going to work. It should work. Right. It does get a bit picky sometimes. I might do a window capture. Yeah, it does play up sometimes. Oh, it's just messing me about. Right. So as you can see, this is my emulators as well. So I actually have the physical consoles, the PS3, like I said, the Xbox 360, Xbox One X, and you've even got free games. Games that are just free to play. So for like Fortnite, you've even got Warzone for Call of Duty, you've got Overwatch and things like that. There's games you can play without paying a penny, and they're fair. Like Fortnite for me, I think it's great. I think people sleep on it. A lot of people do. They moan about things, but it's very fair. You all drop at the same rate, same opportunities. Anything you spend in game is really cosmetic. It's like it's a fair game, and I'm all about fairness with games. Anyway, I don't want to digress too much. So that's current generation. We can go all the way back to Sega Mega Drive, which in the US is the Genesis. Then we've also got, we should have a Super Nintendo here somewhere. Super Nintendo. So these are the generations where I started my gaming journey. I had gaming before that, but it was never the same standard. That's when it really got good. Super Nintendo, Sega Mega Drive. Then we started getting like PlayStation 1. And I haven't got the original Xbox on here because the game's not as good, I don't think, really. And that's where games just started going to 3D. And I don't think it was PlayStation. I think Sega Saturn was before that. If we can find it. But Dreamcast, where the hell is it? Oh, it's that little controller. Yeah. So we get Sega Saturn, and I don't know if it's that. I think it's Sega Saturn. Then we got the PlayStation, or is it Dreamcast? I'm not sure what come before them. They've got dates. Sega Saturn 95, PlayStation 94. I thought Saturn was before PlayStation. All right. And then we get the Dreamcast. Don't go on a whole history lesson here, but literally we've got just all these generations of consoles. And yeah, okay, you'd argue PlayStation games are a bit dated, only because for me personally, the graphics are a little bit, but the fact that you had to use the analog things, the D-pad, playing games like that is very hard for accuracy. It's just really ridiculous. Even like racing games are a pain now. So I have a hard time playing the emulation of them, even though there's some great games. Yeah, so that was a bit lost to me. And you got the same with the Saturn, although I can play Sega Rally on that fine. But I think I played this. I'm sure there's one on the Dreamcast. So the PS2 era, shouldn't sleep on that. That's where a lot of the games were incredible. The PS2, and I was more an Xbox at the time with Halo. But yeah, when I went back, when I looked at all the PS2 games, like wow, that's where a lot of the PS3 came from. The PS2, and of course we had the PSP. And Nintendo were doing their thing with the N64. We got the GameCube. I don't think many people realize how good the GameCube was. I think that's 2001. Where's the PS2? Because it looked, yeah. I think the GameCube's more powerful than the PS2 because when I look at the games, it's just they are incredible. So what I want to do is just show some of the games. So you can see what sort of games we're looking at here. Now, emulation can enhance the experience. So it may have a filter going. It may increase the resolution. So the emulation is great because it preserves the games and can enhance them. But what I want to show here is if you was to buy one of these native consoles, you're going to have a great experience. So yeah, we can still keep looking towards the next Xbox, the next PlayStation, the next Switch, and you can hemorrhage money like a crazy person. £700 for that, £800 for that console, £80 for that game. Or you can go and buy yourself a cheap console on eBay, have a look at the pictures, try and get the best quality one you can get for your money. and then you can acquire the games are cheap anyway. So just acquire the games. All of a sudden, you've got a great experience. Or you can go emulation route. Obviously, it's not ideal, but it preserves games, and that's how I see it. It's not about me not wanting to buy the games. I'm still buying games. Yeah, so anyway, let's go through some of these. So what we've got, I want to just show what the GameCube looked like, because people don't realise 2001, 2025 now, so it's 24 years ago. Of course, the games might be slightly older than that, like 2002. So on the side here, we get to see the release year. Let's just find something that would look good. Obviously, we're trying to go first party, ideally, really. I'm not sure if I saved them as that. You got Mario Kart Double Dash was 2003. So look, I understand the pixelation here. You've got Need for Speed Underground 2. We've got that. I've got a PS2 version of this as well. These two games are two of the best Nintendo. Most Wanted and Underground 2, I think it's Underground 2, are two of the best. I don't know if it was out of Carbon. I'm sure it's Underground 2. The best Nintendo Need for Speed games ever. So if you're into arcade racing, these are great games. But I do have the PlayStation 2 version of that as well. But that's what's great about all this. It's not even that hard to do it. If you do a little bit of research, you think I can't, obviously for legal reasons, share how I did it. Even like Simpsons Hit and Run. So if I just put that one on just briefly, hopefully it works. I don't know if I've launched a GameCube for a while. So I may have to switch between. I might bet off just doing display capture, because this is going to be a bit annoying. Keep jumping back. I might just do display capture. What have I done? Yeah, we do it like that, and it won't be on the left-hand side though. It's only going to be to there. Right, we're not getting anywhere. I don't know why I ain't gone further than that. It might be because I'm just off the screen. So, this is actually a timeless game. This is a game that a lot of people want. Try and get past that. So, some of these games are actually really expensive now if you used to go and look for them. When I say really expensive, some range from about £20 up to £100, depending how rare the game is. But Simpsons Hit and Run is one of those games that is really in demand. I don't think it's got crazy prices. It's high enough, like it's about 20-something pounds each. But it's more the fact it's going to get rarer to find it. So I was testing the PS2 one before. This is the GameCube, of course.
Kids, and this one isn't poisonous to anybody
that we know of.
New and improved Buzz Cola is made from only the finest sugars and waters. Plus, it has a special ingredient, too hot for the FDA. It'll give you the get up and go you need to do all the pathetic stuff you have to do. Try new improved Buzz Cola.
Cola. Must get Buzz Cola.
So performance-wise, emulation-wise, the PS2 one was running smooth on that cutscene. I just wish we didn't have the load screens. That's the fun thing you're going to have to get used to, load screens. So I say this one was better. I think the PlayStation one was better now.
Homer. Use the control stick to move around. This is called walking. Press the A button to jump.
So it does look better on the PlayStation. But I think it might be my emulation. I might not have set the emulation up right yet because the resolution is not very high at all. I think this is more to do with the resolution of the console at the moment, the thing I'm doing. So I don't think the GameCube's going to give a fair representation now. Because, yeah, it doesn't normally look like this.
Ow, my ass! Bart did it. Walk? That wasn't part of the deal.
I'm trying to think what the run button is. Oh, there you go.
Chest pain. Having chest pain.
Anyway, so that's Simpsons Hit and Run. You can get it on PC as well, so there's not necessarily a need to emulate. If you go on Abandonware, there's an Abandonware website where like abandoned games really are available, and you can download them for free, so you don't have all this emulation. So that is that. I don't think I've got the emulator running well enough, to be totally honest. One of these had a great Spider-Man game, and I can't remember what console it was on. I don't know where it is. Yeah, I've even got the Switch. Oh, it's not coming. Why is it not capturing the... I can't catch a break with this app. It doesn't want to do it under screen capture, so we have to do game capture. I don't know why it's playing up. It's enough to drive me nuts. Oh, Jesus. You know what I mean? Why don't it work? Try and showcase something and you can't get the damn thing to be reliable. Well, that's just mental. But yeah, like I say, I've got a Switch. We've got all the latest games on Switch. We've got Astral Chain there, Crash Bandicoot 4, Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze. I mean, I could show it in action, really, so you can see that the emulation allows you to do these things. Like if I did... I mean, we've got Donkey Kong, but we've got a lot of others as well. You've even got the latest Zeldas and all sorts of things. Now, this is a great way to play games, to be honest, because it's all in one. Oh, wait a minute. This is why, like, if you don't know anything about other, like, gaming things per se, it'll be intimidating. So effectively, it's saying that emulator isn't ready, but it's like, I'm not using that one. So you have to tell it to use the one that is installed. Now, things like this one, they are finicky to get running, in all honesty. But of course, once you've got it done, it's done. So it's saying to update the latest version of the emulator, not at the moment. Because the real worry is it works. So do I need the latest update? Get a bit annoyed with this. I'm trying to showcase the game, so I think we might not be able to do it much longer because this is just turning into a nightmare. It's just not transitioning the windows. Like, I don't know why it's not doing it. What on earth? Every time I want to swap. So annoying. So you can probably hear the game running. I just can't get nothing working. Oh, I'm driving me nuts. Right, we'll just do display capture again. I hope it moves. It's just stupid. Right, I've got to remember Nintendo's buttons are backwards, aren't they? So you got funky mode, original mode. Choose funky mode for extra help on your adventure. Blah, blah, blah. Do original mode. Again, what we're looking for here is the graphics fidelity. We're looking for fluidity, of course. It's not the fact it's emulated. It's just look at what the Switch can do. Now we've got the Switch 2 coming out. But of course, it is limited. I think because that extent, you've got higher resolutions. I don't know what I've put the settings as now, to be honest. But like I say, there's enough games here that I wouldn't argue that I need to buy more if I don't want to. So the game companies assuming that we do, I think is naive on their part because people are just going to get fed up. God, I do hate all this intro stuff. You just can't skip any of it. I think Nintendo are one of the worst at this. They just force a narrative on you. I can't do anything. But yeah, I think the game industry getting as greedy as it is now, it's just going to alienate a lot of people, you know. Because you've really got fanboys now who say, oh, you know, they go mental defending their game platform. And I just think it should be about the games, not the platform. I don't care about the platform. I've had PlayStations, I've had Xboxes, I've had Nintendo devices. I have games on all the stores. I don't necessarily have all the game consoles anymore. It's getting too loud for me to speak. So yeah, I wish I'd kept all the game consoles in all honesty. So that's something going forward. I'm not selling games anymore. I'm not selling my consoles. I'm going to hold on to them. Because you can just see where the industries are going now. And games are now got to the point where they're like at a peak where you could easily play them for years to come. So many of them. Yeah, so I've been getting some hard copies as well, the Xbox games, even though I already have them on PC. Just for preservation, you know. I'm hoping we don't get any screen pauses on the recording end, because that seems to be happening. So this is at my end. Yeah, it's matching it. So of course this is running on PlayStation 5 controller, because I prefer using the PlayStation 5 controller. I did prefer the Xbox Series X controller. I've got a blue one as well. And I don't mind both either. But I do like the fact if you use things on a PC, you've got the choice of whatever you prefer. I find it's just too clicky, the Xbox controller. If I could choose now, I prefer the more firmness of this and more resistance on the triggers. It doesn't feel as clicky, so it's not as noisy. That's just my preference. And of course, if you plug it into your computer, it's always charged. So the thing with emulation is it's not always going to be 100% like for like. You might get some frame blips or anything, but it's a trade-off, you know. And of course, as hardware improves, it'll be more steady in the future. But it's fun and fine anyway, this one. It absolutely looks beautiful. So I run an ultra-wide monitor. Of course, this game isn't going to support ultra-wide. It never did in the first place, you know. So I've just got black bars to the side for the widescreen. Oh, wait. Well, I don't want to get too carried away, but I just really wanted to show it. Showcase a little bit. As you can see, it's really nice. Yeah. Forward, back, jump, jump, jump. Just so you can see, it's definitely happening. Anyway. Oh, it's these two buttons. So this is how we have to come out. You have to actually exit the whole emulator, which is a whole pain. I haven't found a better way of doing it, to be totally honest. Yep, so the screen's froze again. It does it every freaking time. Hopefully we can get back to what we was doing. I'll keep that one as that one, and then hopefully it'll always work. Or not. Right. So anyway, this is this Switch. We all know what a Switch looks like. We want to go back a little bit, don't we, in generations? Like I said, I think PS2 is worth a punt. Now I have got PS3, but because I'm buying the games myself, I can't be bothered now. There is a process to sort the emulation side out, which I haven't. I don't think I've set it up properly yet because I transferred all the games to a different storage device, and it's caused a whole problem because I had to change all the emulators over. That's why the PS3 doesn't work. So yeah, we got even God of War. We got God of War 2. You got Gran Turismo 4, MotorStorm, Arctic Edge. You know, and I love the MotorStorm games. That gives me a chance to play that. Need for Speed Underground 2. We've got Time Crisis. It literally got the whole thing. At any time I think to myself, that's a good game. I'm going to go and get that. I just click a button. I'll go and download it. It'll take me less than maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds. and I'll just add it to the folder. Boom, it's playing. Even got Silent Hill 2. So some of these games are expensive. From my understanding, I think Silent Hill 2 is an expensive game. We've got the Ratchet and Clanks. But I've got most of them on my PS3 because I have the digital copies from when I owned one. But either way, it's preserved here. Now, normally we'd have the box art, but I have to do the scraping thing, and I haven't got the patience to do it right now. But even if we say, like, let's say God of War. Now, you look at God of War now, yeah, it's great. It's a single-player game. It's this big story narrative, and I'm all for it. It looks great. But I wish they would do this on the side as well, the original God of Wars, because I love the style of them. So if you want that style, you're going to have to get a PSP. I'm not sure if it was on the Vita. I don't know if it was on the Vita, but I know I think there's PSP versions are great. I've got the emulation for them as well, and they look great on the computer. And then we've also got on the PS2. I think there was an enhanced HD edition on. I'm trying to do load. Is there anything on it? We've got a whole cutscene now, so I'm trying to avoid.
By defeating Ares, Kratos, the once mortal warrior, became the new god of war.
Keep forgetting to do the screen thing.
Found
So annoying.
Alone on Olympus, shunned by his fellow gods.
So yeah, this is God of War 2
Kratos
PS2
had no
version.
need for the love of petty gods. He had found a new family in the warriors of Sparta.
Oh, it's gone. For God's sake, this is getting on my nerves. It's because I clicked the screen for some reason. If I don't click on the screen, it records fine.
Soon all shall know the glory of Sparta.
Enough, Kratos! With every city you destroy, the wrath of Olympus grows. Soon I will no longer be able to protect you.
I need no protection.
Do not forget that it was I who made you a god,
I'm
Ghost
just trying to
of
see how it
Sparta.
looks on the screen there.
Do not turn your back on me.
I owe you nothing.
I think I've done okay with the thing.
Then you leave me no choice.
Kratos had turned the pain of his memories into hatred. Hatred for the gods, who had refused to free him from the nightmares of his past deeds. And so he went to Rhodes to deliver the final blow to the besieged city.
People are forgetting how good and how fun the games are in the past. So but it costs a fraction of the price of the new games to get the graphics. Think of it like an animated. I think if you look at it like that, think of it an animated movie or TV show compared to a real film. Think of it that way, and you'll have a good time with it. It's just, I really wish we didn't have these cutscenes. I was going to say that when I said Nintendo are the worst. I think Sony are just as bad, to be honest. Good news is we're playing now.
Athena!
So the game now, you say, it looks fine.
Don't let him open the door!
How can that not look fine? This is PS2. Not even PS3. I miss this style. So what I would say
Gods,
is,
he's killed them all. He
all
still
the
has
latest
some of the
games
powers of the
are so
gods.
similar to each other, you know? So all the latest games are just copy repeat. And now we've got these games that in my opinion, are superior to what exists now. So we need to get rid of that one and go on that one. What process going on over here? This is just ridiculous. We're probably going to have to stop sharing them in a minute. Well, I'm probably not going to show the game so much now because it's just getting too hard just for me to even get this on the screen. Every time. I'm just hopeful we can do it. I can't. It won't work unless I click that, and when I click that, it doesn't let you do the screen capture. So I can't. The game capture just constantly off and on. 1 minute it works, then it doesn't work. It's so crap. But hopefully it's given enough of an idea. Finally, for God's sake. I'm not going to go into any more games because I'm jumping back and forward. I can't get back in. But yeah, like I say, we've got the 360 generations. These are all incredible platforms with hundreds of games each. Like me, I've just selected the games that I want or I think it's worth saving. But when I look at the game lists, the library lists, it's absolutely crazy. Like I say, I've got to be careful how I would show things. Yeah, I don't want to go down the path of showing how I get the games and things because it just gets a bit, becomes a bit of an issue, I think. But yeah, even PSP. It's dated to use a PSP, so I'm not like I don't favour the PSP much, but it's still like you've got two exclusive games on there. They're only on the PSP. So you either buy a PSP or you get the emulator and you run them because I like that sort of game. Lumines, I always love that. MotorStorm Arctic Edge, but we've also got it on PS2 anyway. There it is, Arctic Edge. There's another one, Pacific something, that's on a PS3. Don't think I've got it. No. Sega Saturn. Now, Sega Saturn does look dated. I'm not going to lie. That's when 3D first come in. So Sega Saturn and the PS4, I think the PlayStation 1, they do look dated. I think the Sega Saturn more so. I think they're both a bit. But the games were still unique. You know, things like Sega Rally, we had Fighting Vipers. There's a lot of games that just were birthed through that console, though. So it's like, don't sleep on it. Dreamcast, I think, is just better. It's in terms of like the games. There's still loads of good games on there. You got Crazy Taxi was born on Crazy. That's great. It's like again, these are from arcades. Effectively, these are arcade games that got put on console, and it was great to be able to play them at home. Then we had I grew up with Super Nintendo. There's just loads here. You got 3 Donkey Kong games. You got a whole host of Mario. Mario hasn't really evolved that much. You know, obviously it looks better and there's some set pieces and they do some funny things. But overall, Mario's still Mario. And in its raw form, it's still absolutely brilliant. You got Bomberman is a great co-op game. And there's like loads of movie franchises back then as well. We had the original Zeldas. Well, actually, I think Zelda stemmed on the NES, but still. But that was the first one I played was a Link to the Past, I think it was. Yeah, I absolutely loved Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. And like I say, with this emulator though, you will, if you do the scraping on it, so you do that and you do the scraper. If I did it on one that's smaller, if I could just find a library that's small, I could showcase what it actually is. If I do PSP, because there's only a few games on the PSP, isn't there? So let's say I do PSP, scrape from scrape, all games, select these titles. So we only want the PSP. So the PlayStation Portable. Back. And we just do all games and we use scrape. There's 2 ones you can use. We use that one. And it'll take a little bit of time. So we've got 13 games. It's gonna see if it can find it. It doesn't always match. If it does, we'll get an image. So now we've got an image for God of War. We get an image of Sparta. Yeah, so both God of Wars now have an image. Hopefully they have the box art as well. Just show the process really. But the trouble is, if you've got one that's got maybe 100 titles, it's like, oh my God, I'll be here all day. It'll take about half an hour. So you've got to just walk off and leave it. In the middle of this is not going to be the best time for me to talk about it. But yeah, I just, like I say, I think if game companies are going to be greedy, don't sleep on the past. You know, I'm truly enjoying the PS3 era. I'm collecting so much now. I'm like collecting all the kill zones. There's 3 kill zones to get. The first one's very rare and expensive. That's a bit annoying. You've got 3 games in the Resistance series. So effectively, there's 6 first-person shooter games that are great. You've got a lot of the Call of Duty series, which I've already got. You can collect some of the Assassin's Creed games. I went Xbox with that. I also have them all on PC because I wanted hard copies. Xbox has that backwards compatibility and enhances the resolution to 4K and 60 FPS on some of the titles, or most of them. So it just enhances the games, you know. So you're going all the way from Assassin's Creed, the original one, because that was a 360 title, all the way to the latest ones. So you can have the whole lot in the collection. I think that's great. With PS3, you're going to get some on PS3. You're going to get PS4 versions and PS5. It's a bit more difficult. You can't play them all on one console, for instance. But yeah, PS3, we've got, I think there's 3 or 4 MotorStorm games. So where I said MotorStorm's awesome, you can only get them on really the PS3. I think one game's on PS2. I think there's one on PSP, but I don't think any on future thing. Again, so you got that. You got 3 Little Big Planets. You got The Last of Us. You got you got 3 Uncharted games. You got Gran Turismo 5. You got Gran Turismo 6. You've also got Gran Turismo Sport, I think it is, but I think that was like a mini version of that, of before 5 come out or something. And of course, there are a whole host of games. You've got like Ratchet and Clanks. You've got what else was I? I'm just trying to think of the ones I've been trying to collect myself. I can't remember, but there's a lot of games. So anyway, we've scraped it now. So let's have a look at PSP. Now we've got the pictures. See, that's all you got to do to get the pictures. It's not hard. So now we've got now you can see what God of War looks like. God of War, that one, Daxter, Despicable Me, Ghostbusters, because I like Despicable Me, the film, so I thought I'd get the game. Iron Man. They're quite limited on the PSP, of course. Graphics will be limited, will not be great. But again, you've got a bit of history there. So I'm not going to obviously do... these ones might work. I might just try it just while we're doing it. PS3. Get rid of the portal because it'll do it again otherwise, and it just time consuming. It might not find them. I'm thinking it probably won't. That it didn't get that one. Didn't get that one. Didn't get that one. No. So it's having a hard time with the PS3 because PS3 isn't widely compatible emulation. Some of the games work, some don't. They might break halfway through. It's not a reliable emulator, to be honest, the PS3. So that's why I'm not bothering with it now. PS1, again, there's way too many games. I can't. I think all these ones will be big. We've even got like the old portable ones, like the DS. Because I was thinking about buying the consoles again. I was going to go on eBay and look into getting them. I thought it's going to cost a lot of money because some of these older ones get expensive. I think like the 3DS would do. Especially, I think it's in XL. I think it's the XL model. You're looking at getting into hundreds here, 100 there, 100 for that one, 100. It's like, I don't want to go mental. I've got the emulator for most of it anyway. It's just a preference to the era. Like my favourite era, really, it was the Super Nintendo. Now, when I'm fair with it all, I think the best era was the PS3, Xbox 360 era. So I've got the consoles for that because I want to preserve them, and then I want to collect the games. So I've got them permanently. I can just plug it in, put it on, and they're never an issue. You know, just play the games. And I do think now's the time to get it because they could switch the online still works. The downloads are very slow on both consoles. I think Sony and Microsoft have done it on purpose. I think personally they're leaning towards stopping support altogether. So at the moment the speeds are down. So I would suggest if anyone is interested, get it now while you can download if any games you have on your digital library. But also a lot of the games you put a disc in it recommends an update. So you do the update to the games. It obviously saves it on the storage. And then you've always got the latest version of that game. So maybe it had patches. But if you was to get a PS3 potentially in 5 years' time or whatever, and Sony have turned off all of the servers, there's no network features at all, you put a disc in and you haven't played it before, you won't get the latest version. So like one example is Gran Turismo 6. I'm having problems. The updates are not working all the way through. It just has failed. And I'm like, God damn. So you have to delete the whole folder of everything you've downloaded. So I need to figure out what number it works and then when it fails so I don't go beyond it. So I won't ever have all the features because I can't seem to get it to do it. But if I get up to maybe patch 8, at that point it's added some features to the game. It's even added like Ayrton Senna. It's added a track for Ayrton Senna and some other features around that and some extra bonus like races. So if you don't download it all, you won't have Ayrton Senna stuff at least. So anyway, it's just something to consider there. It's worth getting it now. They're not that expensive. So yeah, I'm personally, I would right now, I'd much rather have a PS3 than a PS5. Because when I look at my collection, if you're going to look at me like my collection, I've got a PC. I can play all the latest games. Okay, not every PS5 game is on PC, but they're coming. They just don't come day one at the moment. Maybe you have to wait a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Okay, I've got enough anyway. So effectively, at the moment, we've got 3 Spider-Man games. You've got Spider-Man 2, you've got Miles and whatever it's called, and then the other Spider-Man. I only have the first Spider-Man anyway at the moment. So there's 2 more for me to get. You've got Horizon Zero Dawn and you've got Forbidden West. I only have Zero Dawn. I already completed Forbidden West on PS5. I completed thingy on the other one on PS4, but I wanted it when it came out on PC. But I haven't got around to buying every single one again. You know, I've got God of War on PS5, and I've also got God of War on PC. So I'm not going to keep saying which one I got on, but when I say them, I've got the PC versions at the moment as well. So PC, we've got The Last of Us, we've got Horizon Zero Dawn, we've got Ghost of Tsushima, got Death Stranding, although now it's on Xbox as well, but it wasn't before. So like I say, got God of War. I don't know if I've already said God of War. Got Days Gone, Uncharted, which is Uncharted 4 and The Lost Chapters. And I'm sure there's something else. But either way, so I don't need a PS5. So someone might think, oh, yeah. It's like, I don't need it, though, because I've got the PS5 controller. I'll play it on here. I'll play it in ultra-wide. It's actually cinematic. So what console would add more games to my library? Because a PS5 won't. It's not. Okay, Ghost of Yoti, when that comes out, fine. Maybe I'll wait a year and a half. It's fine. I don't need to play. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows at the moment. But the PS3 does. So when I put that into the telly, I'm playing games that are exclusive to the system. You know, like I say, we've got Motorstorms, we've got the Little Big Planets, we've got the Kill Zones, we've got the Resistance. A whole host of games that just never ever had a new update on the other consoles. Killzone it's on PS4. It's actually really good. There's a newer one, but PS5 they just gave up with the series. So I'm not following the future. I'm looking towards the past, and I'm just enjoying what I got. And eventually, I'll probably just stop buying games. I think personally, I will. I don't know. I think I'll get more selective of the games I buy. Like, I love Assassin's Creed, so there's a good chance I'll always buy Assassin's Creed. It gets a lot of hate, but I enjoy the series. I just enjoy it. You can get really immersed. And there'll be certain series that I just gravitate to, and there'll be new games that will have to convince me. And that's just how that'll be. And meanwhile, I've got enough to play anyway. So you can sometimes, I think, stop looking to buy all the time. And then your wallet will thank you. And you'll enjoy maybe what you've already got. I think that's where we're going to get to. We're going to put more time and effort into the library we already have rather than keep acquiring. And the game companies are going to, I think, suffer for it. Hence why they don't like this emulation, for instance, because they just want to hemorrhage it for the rest of their lives. Like this is like abandoned a lot of this, but now all of a sudden they're starting to do their online platforms through subscriptions where they add these games and they act like they're treating you to it. It's like, but these were always available like this long time ago. And that's what they want you to do. Pay for the rest of your life to play single games. But they'll add it to a subscription where you've got a catalogue of games. But realistically, you'll just keep playing the same game. So Nintendo Online, let's say you like the original Donkey Kong. You might subscribe to Nintendo Online so you can play the original Donkey Kong on your Switch. And it's costed you a lot every year for the rest of your life. When really we could just play it here for the rest of our lives anyway. It's here. But anyway, hopefully that's given some people some ideas, really. Me personally, that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking of getting a PS2 because I'm so impressed with the emulation. Then I get so caught up in it that I just want to preserve. And the game companies don't get anything from this anyway, so it's their own doing. You know, they could easily re-release these old consoles at a decent price and give people what they want. Instead, you have to go used. So you buy a used console, they don't get any money from that. You buy a used game, they don't get any money from that. So when you look at emulation, you can see it as a negative thing. But they're not getting anything if I went on eBay anyway. So I just see it as the same thing. I don't really see it as a bad thing. And it's not like some people do that and they never pay a penny. I pay an awful lot every year on gaming. So the studios who made any of these games, if they still exist, especially the main suppliers, they're already getting money off me in other games anyway all year round because I'm an avid gamer, and I do go back and buy the consoles anyway. So even if I'm playing a version here, it's likely I'll have it because I'm thinking of getting a Vita again as well. I love the Vita. I've always nostalgic for it. If I can get it for a decent price, I think I've got a memory card here somewhere. Oh, I don't know what I've done with it. Probably lost it now. Oh, I don't know. Tiny little thing. They're quite expensive, the emulation on the PS2, on the Vita. Anyway, I know it's been quite long. I didn't mean for it to be this long. But I just don't want people to sleep on the past. I just think they're missing something here a lot. Like, especially families who can't afford games. And it's like you want them to play something. You don't have to go and spend so much money to play games. Even the Wii U. Let's say you can't afford a Switch. Although I think a used Switch now is quite cheap. And a Wii U is probably similar price now anyway. But back, let's say before, you couldn't afford it. A lot of the Wii Switch games earlier in the cycle, at least mid-cycle, they were Wii U ports anyway. A lot of them were here. So, yeah, the gaming industry is getting really, really lazy. They're just doing remasters of games now. Of course, it looks nice and it's interesting, but you can go and play it a far fraction of the price. Like I say, Last of Us, £5 used from CEX. Tell me you're going to get that anywhere else on another platform, on the later generations. Crazy. And for me, this is more valuable in the long run because it's the original. It's where it started. So you have PS4 version, you'll have a PS5 case, but I think the PS3 version will be the one that's rarest in the future. And then they have value, don't they? They become collector's items. So why not just collect it now? Anyway, that's me on my gaming journey.